Welcome to The Art of Being Unstoppable, the podcast where we will go beyond the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Be part of down-to-earth, no BS conversations where we will explore hot topics on love and money, relationships and business, beauty, and who we get to be with all that shit in between. With our insights and your actions, let's be unstoppable together. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone. You know what? We finished last week was on the 5 love languages. So I would love to give a big shout out to all of the men out there, all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day coming up. I don't have my dad anymore, and Father's Day was a huge deal at my house. He always made Mother's Day very special for my mom and for myself, and so does my husband. So I want to give a big shout out to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day.
I also lost my dad 3 years ago, and I was sharing with Vicki earlier this week that we had a house fire when I was in 7th grade, and we lost all of our family photos. So my dad's been gone for 3 years, but I don't have any pictures of my dad. I have one picture, that's it. And this woman found me on social media. I wished my mom a happy birthday. I think she was connected to my mom. She sent me 11 pictures of my dad and me as like kids, you know, and I got to see my dad as like the healthiest, vibrant, happy version. And he's like kissing my mom. It was just such a heartwarming Father's Day gift for me to receive those photos. So so it's sometimes hard when people are missing their fathers on Father's Day, but they're there with us in spirit and heart and soul. So
absolutely, and I still celebrate them. We all do. So yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, I love that story. I love it.
Okay, go.
So piggybacking off of last week again, the 5 love languages, we're going to go through the 4 stages of desire. And, you know, it's kind of interesting because a lot of us can get stuck in one of them and never get to the 4th level, right? The 4th stage. So how about you start with the sharing about this? Because I know that before we came on, we were talking about this, and we have a great story to give some light on how this really works.
Yeah, well, I want to prelude this with, you know, this isn't something I just made up. I got it from my spiritual teacher. I'll tell you guys all the time, like, I'm going to get the source. Now, the terminology and the spiritual spin, like, I'm not going to go into the details because I don't teach Kabbalah. But when I was listening to the 4 phases, I was immediately brought back to a time. This was before I had kids. So my daughter was born in 2008. So this was probably going back 2006. And I remember distinctly sitting at my kitchen table with my ex-husband now. And I said, you know, I've been putting on weight, making bad choices. Like, this is the year. I really want to be in the best shape of my life. I want to start taking actions. I had phase 1 of the desire, you know, the real desire. In my head, I had this desire, but a lot of times you don't do anything about it. And he distinctly looked at me from across the table and he said, Tina, you've been saying this for the last 5 years and you never do anything about it. You will never do that. You don't have the willpower or the dedication to actually lose weight. And I remember my blood boiling in that moment. I'm like, really? Really? You don't think I can do it? He's like, no. Every year after year, you say you want to lose weight. You don't do a damn thing about it. You don't have the willpower to follow through. And I sat with that for a good 5 minutes, giving him the death stare. And in my head, I just kept thinking, oh yeah, I'll show you. And right away, right after that conversation, I went online, how to lose weight. And I found this program called Burn the Fat. It was a $30 program. And in my head, I was like, you know what? I am going to do this program. I am going to burn the fat. I am going to lose weight. Come hell or high water, I am doing this. And this is real. This is phase 2 of desire. Not only do I have a desire, now I took an action. I made a commitment in my head. I went and found a program. Then I went to the gym and I signed up for a membership. That day, right after that conversation, I went to the gym. I signed up for a membership. So I started taking the actions. I started doing the things. After 8 weeks, nothing changed. I was going to the gym. I was eating well. I was doing all of the things. And I was like, what the heck? Why is this not working? And I'm telling you, this was stage 3. You know, when you're taking the actions, you're doing the things, you're
Mhm.
resisting, you're not drinking, you're eating well, and it's not shifting on the scale. I was in stage 3. It was the test. Okay, how bad do you want this? Even though you're not seeing results, are you going to still go to the gym? Are you going to still eat healthy? Then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, it was 8 weeks and 2 days. It felt like the weight just started melting off. It was just like people started noticing. I started noticing. I was hooked after that. I was like, okay, I am going to stay committed. And, stage 4, because stage 3, I know people that have been in stage 3, like myself right now, for the last 3 years, going to the gym, eating healthy, doing the things. It's not working. Um, but stage 4 is, are you willing to let go of the attachment to the results? And are you willing to really, like, do you really want it? Because sometimes, and then you get it. Stage 4 is everything that you want, your desires come to fruition, it starts working, everything's great. But that stage 3 is when self sabotage kicks in,
Yeah.
the, the test, like everything. You have a plan to go to the gym and you break your foot. You, you like, I mean, I'm not joking. The
Oh no,
test will be there.
they will come.
Most people quit in stage 3 because they're not really committed to their desire. They're committed to their comfort zone. They're committed to the security, the safety, the whatever it is, and then they quit. But it's
Yeah.
like, what if you have a desire and it's your true desire, and you push through that resistance, the tests, the obstacles, the barriers, and you keep, showing up anyways? Stage 4, I mean, I was 15% body fat. I was in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
I was like, everything that I wanted, I got. And then you know what happened? I had this belief, uh-oh, now I'm too different. Now people are saying, oh my God, what happened to you? You look so good. What are you doing? Starving yourself? Da 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 da. Like all of this
Oh yeah.
resistance. I went back to stage 3, the test. How bad do you want it? Once I got what I got, stage 3, the test. When people are criticizing, when people are telling you you're starving yourself, even though you're working your ass off, even though you had to go buy a new wardrobe, and there's resistance, and your friends want you to stay, the same because it stretches them outside their comfort zone. I didn't realize there was another test, and I failed because I put all the weight back on. I like, succumb to the the pressures of being like everybody else, being afraid of not being, the same as everybody.
You know, like when you relate this to this, it so many light bulbs, so many light bulbs, and I completely hear what you're saying in every aspect. People starting businesses, people starting relationships, people doing. But you know what? At that 8 week mark, when you're still not, that's when you get to ask yourself again, what is my desire and why do I want it? Because your desire at the stage 1 was, yeah, well, I'll show you. But your desire at stage 2 and at that 8 week mark was you were doing this for you, but you didn't know it yet.
No.
And you didn't recognize it. And I think that that's what we get stuck in. And then the resistance, because we don't see ourselves as that person at the end. We don't see ourselves as the possibility of who we get to be. We get stuck in where we're at. Oh my God, I'm never going to lose weight. I'm always going to look like this. And it's the saboteurs, it's the comfort zones, all of those things, but we get there and we stay there. And we can stay in that stage 3 for years, months, decades. It can be forever.
Well, and this is the thing, right? What was my true desire? Was my true desire to release the weight, be the healthiest version of myself? Or was my true desire to prove my husband wrong?
I think originally your true desire was to prove your husband wrong.
It was because
Yeah, it was. But
But I
at that
got what I
8 week,
wanted.
that's right. But you didn't. But I think it shifted, is what my point is. I think that as you were going through it, you were feeling better. You were seeing the result. You were getting this feeling inside of you that, look what I have been able to do for me, myself. You didn't. You're the one that was going to the gym. He wasn't. You're the one that was eating healthy. He wasn't making you eat. That's why I believe that at that point, we get to realize, why are we doing this now? Is it truly because of the desire that we originally had, that you wanted to lose weight first? But when he said that, it triggered you. And then you decided, what? I'm going to do it to spite you. But as you went along, that changed. And I think that that's where we get lost sometimes, right? And that's why we stay there, or we fall back into our old habits.
Well, I think the shift is with consciousness. See,
Yes.
because at that time, I wasn't really conscious. One of the things that you said earlier was like, what's your why? Why are you really doing this? Because when you're committed to the why that's bigger than you, bigger than your ego, because my ego was driving this. I'm going to prove
Mhm.
you wrong because I have this other story from childhood. I'm not a loser, so I go through winning. So it was triggering that, like, oh no, you think I don't have that? Oh, I'm not going to lose that fight with
Nope.
you. That's why it was easy to go back into the old patterns and habits because I wasn't clear with my real why. My real why is to be the healthiest version of myself because I wanted to have children and I wanted to be a good role model. Like I wasn't present to that at that time. That's why when I put the weight back on, then it was like, it why did I do this? Why did I put the
Yep.
weight back on? But then when I did it again years later, then I was really present to my why. Then I was present to this is bigger than me. This is living a legacy. This is a lifestyle. I don't want to ever diet again. I want to just be a healthy version of myself, not because I have to prove somebody wrong or because I want to look better than anybody else. It was then I was present to my why, which was not present the first time that I did it. And I think this is why sometimes we cycle, we lose weight, we feel great, we gain it back. We grow a business, we get results, we slip back into old habits. We're in this relationship, things are good, then it's all because we're not present. But why are we in a relationship? Why are we building a business? Why are we wanting to be the healthiest version of ourselves?
You
We,
know, I think too, with that being said, like what you're, like what I hear you say too, and I can relate it to so many other things, because you even said with relationships, right? It's always good in that first honeymoon phase, right? Everything's great. And then you fall back into your old patterns, both people, again
Mhm.
with the love languages. And then we're not paying attention to what we want to give the other person. We're only paying attention to what we can get back.
Right.
And, you know, if we could stay present in just right now, like you and I are doing right now, we're talking about this together. We're staying present in the moment. My brain isn't going, oh, when I'm done here, I need to go pick up my grandkids. And then I'm staying present in the moment. And if we could only learn to do that on a regular basis, Tina,
Mm.
how much different would the world be?
Well, yeah, I mean, presence is the key, and also seeing that what if we could start operating life like this is just a phase? And we could see, oh, I'm in phase three. Okay, now I have a choice. Do I want phase three to last a day, a week, an hour, a year, my whole
Exactly.
life? It's like, oh, okay, if it's just a phase and this is what I'm going through, and I can be present right now. I don't have to worry about the future. I don't have to worry about the past. I could just be
Yes.
present. It's like, oh, okay, this too shall pass
Yeah,
over
because it
time.
always does. It always does. You know, these phases, like, and I am a true believer. Everything happens for a reason, and I had a client yesterday. And we were talking about that, and she said, like, I don't know why this would have happened, but she said it doesn't matter why
Mm,
right now. It happened, and I'm not going to hold on to it. I'm going to say, okay, it happened, and she could sit in it, like I always say, sit in her shit, or she could look at it in, wow, okay, so this has got to be a reason. There's a reason for this. And
right.
then she started saying, so and so, and all. She noticed all these other things changing in her life that she used to have control over. And now
Mm,
she relinquished that control for other people to take their stand in their lives that
mhm.
she didn't allow before, because it was just, we get into that position, especially when we work with each other. Like you and I work together. I know what you will do for me.
Mhm.
You know what I will do for you always, right? So but I want to stay present in the fact that I don't want to take advantage of that either. So that I can still keep, and I don't want to control what you can, I don't want to control you through that. So when we have these desires and we can look at it like, okay, I have this desire to, this podcast was a desire of mine, right? I create time every week, or you and I create time every week to record episodes and to really put our heart and soul into this to support people in their lives.
Mhm.
We could be saying, well, we don't have a million viewers. We don't have blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
phase.
oh
That,
shoot, I forgot to promote it. And oh, there's all these
right?
obstacles. And oh, I'm creating this and I'm doing this. And how do I
Yes.
have time? It's like, okay, stage three. It's gonna break
That's
down.
right.
It's
That's
gonna
right.
break
And you know what? It's okay.
down.
It's okay. And that's where we get to be coming from is it's okay for the shit to pop up. It's okay for those roadblocks because we will, if you look back for 1 minute of everything that you've ever desired or anything that you've ever gone through, look where you are now. Guess what? You got through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did it because you're sitting here and you're looking at, you know what I mean? You're looking at yourself in your life and you got through it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the beauty. These phases show
Hmm.
up all the time throughout our life and every single situation, even every day. We can go through the first
Yes.
cycle of desire, like, oh, today I want to be like every day. I when I pray in the morning, I'm like, okay, God, help me be like Moses today. Like, help me be that spiritual, like an angelic being. Help me make good choices. Help me come from a giving place. And then, boom, the first thing that happens, I'm like, oh, I'm more like the devil today. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm in phase three. This is a test. This person, this person. And I'm like, oh, and then I'm going to like find the calm and that. It's like this ever revolving cycle.
But when you get to see it and you notice it, right? That's the key. That is
Yeah.
the key because then you're not stuck in it. And you're not going back to bed going, okay, well, it didn't work. So why
Why bother?
bother?
Yeah, it's such a funny, it's almost like a comical process that you take yourself through every day. It's when you can become conscious of things like this. Even I'm thinking when I was a teacher, right? Going into work, and there was some people that were just so challenging to deal with. And every day when I was walking in, it was almost like this battleground. Like I was going in ready to fight. Like I'm ready for this person. But imagine if you're like, oh, okay, this is the testing phase. This is where I get to practice being patient. This is where I get to be loving. This is where I get to be giving, going in like that. Oh, this is the test. Okay, great. On the other side of this is going to be some freedom. It's going to be some joy, fulfillment, whatever connection.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh. And then it doesn't matter what comes your way because you're like, oh, phase three, phase three. Okay, I got this. I got this. I'm prepared. I'm prepared for you. It's like, but it really is such a funny way to operate life. Like, we don't have to take life so seriously. And so, like, okay, this is a funny example, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna call it out because if you're in my life, you guys, chances are you're going to hear some stories. But my neighbor wanted to set me up with her brother. So I was like, okay, and I don't date a lot, you guys, you know that. So I'm like, okay, this is great. I have a bit of a desire to date, but not a huge. I'm not really doing anything about it. And then, oh, phase two. Okay, well, I'm going to send a message. I'm going to engage in conversation with this person. And then there's like test, test, test. Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to work for me to go out with you. And I'm like, this is the testing phase because I've been praying to God, only bring people in that are meant for my life and get rid of the ones that aren't really quickly. I'm like, oh, okay, this is God testing. Yep, this wasn't the right person. But I was like, the rejection. What? You don't want to go out with me? Like, are you crazy? Why would you not want to go out? But I was wanting to text him and be like, hey, I'm open to feedback. Like, what did I do? And I'm like, nope, delete that message. Do not send that message. But it's all a test because I'm like, oh no, I got rejected. So the reactive behaviors come up.
Yeah.
teach me patience, to teach me to let go. Then on the other side of that is like, okay, now I get to see, I get to have certainty. God gave me a test, wasn't the right person, remove that person from my life. I don't have to understand why, but I get to trust, oh man, maybe I dodged a bullet. Sorry if you're listening right now. But you know,
But
hey,
who's to
it's
say?
sacred in my life. My daughter said this to me yesterday. She's like,
Okay.
Mom, you can't not share. You share everything with
Mhm.
everybody. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I don't. Yeah, I kind of
No,
do.
you can't. And you know what's funny is I always ask my kids permission, right? If I want to share something, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to ask your permission. And they're like, go ahead, Mom. I'm like, all right. So if you've said go ahead, that means go ahead to everything because that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing when you say that.
Well, yeah, maybe, those situations, I didn't ask for permission, but I'm like, you know what I do for work. You know that I have a
Oh,
podcast.
absolutely.
You know that chances are, and maybe that's why I didn't get a first date. He's like, yeah, I don't want to be one of her stories. I don't want to be like motorcycle guy, tattoo guy.
Right? Oh, neighbor guy. Oh,
Neighbor,
that's funny.
oh, neighbor
That's
guy.
funny. Oh, yeah, you already are, buddy. Sorry, you were in the story.
Sorry,
You're in the
sorry, neighbor
story.
guy. So anybody who's listening that wants to date me, just know you're probably going to get a nickname,
Yeah.
and you're going to be on our
And
podcast.
that's okay. And that's okay. I share
Oh,
stuff about my husband all the time and how, things are. And sometimes it's like, oh, sorry, babe. Sorry I said that. Sorry I said that you were really negative. And sorry I said this. But you know what? I love you. I do.
I love
I
you.
love you.
Hey, we're just keeping it real, you guys. And listen, this is part of being unstoppable. Shine a light on the things that work, the things that don't work. And this is the thing. Whatever your spiritual beliefs are, it, like the creator, God, source, universe, whatever, wants us to have all of our desires come true. Like, listen, we're everything is conspiring for you, but we hold back our desires. We are stingy with ourselves. Don't be afraid to have desires. Yes, it might take work, but if you really truly want something, you want to write that book, you want to be in your best health, you want to have $1 million business, like, don't let your brain say, oh, that's greedy, that's selfish, I don't really need a million. Yeah, you don't need anything, but you're allowed to have desires, and your
That's right.
desires can be big and huge. And like, I want a loving, committed, caring relationship with a goddess of a goddess, a god of a
A
man,
God of a man.
god of a man, not a goddess. That's another conversation, um but like, yeah, somebody who sees me, who appreciates me, saying, hey, so I'm curious, what are your three core values? And not run away. Listen, that's the other thing. I'm going to ask you, what are you looking for in a partner, and what are your core values?
Yeah.
Most people don't know what that is, and they're like, ooh, she's too intense. That's okay. I know that God's going to send me my person that's going to be like, finally, a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody who cares about what's really important and not superficial bullshit like what's your favorite color and what's your favorite food. Sorry. That was my inside voice, you guys. But
I love your inside voice when it comes out. But you know what, Tina, I think too, what this is all kind of going back to for me, and is it doesn't matter. It's where we're at right now. That's where you are. I am where I am. And some people aren't, no two people are in the same place at the same time, and it's okay. But respect each other for where you're at and who you are,
oh yeah.
right? And just, and try to go through life with that love and with that knowledge of it's okay. It's okay. I have desires of what I want. And the only way for me to get them is for me to recognize them and take the action. And when that comes up, because it does, oh, I didn't get that many impressions, or that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I realize this, and I want to end this with this because I know we're kind of running on time here, but when I was away last week, we were in Manitoulin. It's a very spiritual island. We were by the water. We didn't, we did hiking. We did a lot of things. The guys fished. We really had a great time. One thing that I realized about myself, I really like quiet. I
Mm,
never liked quiet before.
mm, mhm.
I really like it. I don't have FOMO anymore of what's so like all of the things that I'm missing because I've realized that I'm not missing anything. These quiet times is what fills my cup. You know, and me filling everybody else's cup is okay, but I desire filling my cup first. And it isn't selfish, it is essential.
No, it is selfish, and that's okay. We need to be more selfish, you guys. It's okay to be selfish because when you give to yourself, you can give to others. Be selfish.
Yeah.
Be selfish. Because, yeah, you get to enjoy quiet.
Mhm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And being selfish is not a bad word. It means you're putting yourself first, you're loving yourself first. And this is what makes the world go round. Love
Yeah.
your neighbor as thyself. When
Yeah.
you can be selfish and love yourself so much that you can then give that to the world, and that's what makes everything go round. So I'm so happy for you to be able to experience being selfish, which is actually selfless, which is
Yes.
actually giving. We've been
Right. Yeah.
programmed to believe not. But anyway, that could
That's
be
another,
another
that's a,
podcast.
yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, my friend, thank you for this was awesome. And I hope everyone got something out of our 4 stages of desire because, you know, just look at it, see where you're at and see what you get to do to support. And we're here to support you through it. So let us know what you're hearing.
Yeah, love it. See you guys next time. Bye.
Well, friends, that is the end of our episode today. If you love this episode, hit the subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And please share us with your friends and tag us on your socials at The Art of Being Unstoppable. So for today, have yourself a beautiful day and let's be unstoppable together. See you next time.